Business editor, Jeff Todd, and he recently just came out with a novel, and the novel is available on Amazon, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about that. But good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Good. And the title of your novel is Storm of Hate.
Yeah, it's a little heavy, huh?
And yeah, it launched yesterday.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
It launched
right, yeah.
yesterday. Are you excited, man?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I've literally been working on this for, I guess, almost 7 years. It was actually, I started writing it around when Hurricane Katrina hit back in 2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, just tell us a little bit about this book, and how did you conceptualize this book?
Well, I always knew that I was gonna start writing books.
Definitely.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's definitely in me, and I just really enjoy it. So it was one of those things. I think it was the right time and the right place. When Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005, I think I was really affected by it, like a lot of other people, particularly by a lot of the images that one saw on the television and everything.
Yeah.
And I think it was the right time for me in the sense that I was inspired by what I saw there, and that inspired me to create a fictional tale surrounding it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I was amazed when you said I had no idea that you were actually writing a novel. I know that you do write besides the Nassau Guardian. You have your blogs, and I always enjoy reading your work. But I can't wait to dig into this. Storm of Hate. Where did you get the title from?
Well,
Why hate?
It went like several different titles. Like honestly, that title actually was just prior to coming up with the final version for the publisher. It went through a lot of different titles. I went with that title because I thought it was a bit more provocative, and I think it's a bit more eye-catching. It's a bit of an intense. It is an intense title, but it's an intense book. It's definitely one of those books that I hope will grab you pretty early on, and I encourage people to actually read it pretty quickly. It's not a particularly long book. It's only about 250 pages. Okay. And I think it reads fast, in the sense that it's supposed to read fast. It flips in between a lot of different perspectives. It's supposed to be actually pretty intense, like a storm in a sense. Yeah, I mean it's out now. You can get it if you check out my blog. If you go to onyourtodd.com, you go through my blog and everything, you'll see a whole bunch of different ways to pick it up.
Definitely. And you're a business editor, so how you transition from business to writing a novel is kind of amazing. So you're an all-around writer. You just love writing.
Yeah, I do.
When did you start writing?
Well, I pretty early, I guess. I mean, I probably started, I guess in early high school. Like I used to do a lot of short stories in high school, and entered sort of short story competitions through there. It's funny because I was thinking about that a while back, and I totally want to dig up some of those old stories that I wrote. I mean, it's maybe my parents have them stashed away somewhere, but it's always been there. Yeah, and actually, it's funny because this one took me like forever to write. It took me almost 7 years. Some of it was meeting people who actually were impacted by the hurricane, and I met them sort of in my travels. Like one of them I actually met in Abu Dhabi in the Middle East, of all places. And she lived in the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and
That's a pretty rough area, man.
I was just there recently. I was in New Orleans just a few weeks ago, and she took me through her old neighborhood and everything. And that place is still affected. Yeah. Like it's come back, but she drove me through some places there, and
you can still see the devastation, right?
No doubt. Like there's a lot of houses that are just flat out abandoned and destroyed. Others where people are still living in them, but they're in pretty rough shape.
Wow, man. And your book is kind of timely because we have a storm headed here right now. But I don't know if it'll hit here, but it's headed in our direction, Isaac. And so, was this planned? Why you got something going on?
It's so weird.
Kind of like snapped your finger and formed a tropical storm out there for us to come this way.
It's one of those things. It's like a weird marketing thing that's going on here.
Yeah, book sales.
But the other weird thing was someone in the newsroom the other day was saying that it's Katrina formed in the Bahamas, which I wasn't actually initially aware of.
Yeah.
And that it formed yesterday on the day of the launch. I mean, that's a very strange coincidence. Not one that I
you know what people are gonna say, man. People are gonna say you're a part of them. You're a part of the society.
Well, I can tell you that my publisher didn't even know about it. I guarantee you that, man.
Well, things happen like that way sometimes, man. And sometimes these things are meant to be. And I just feel like this is meant to be for this time right now. And so I'm definitely proud of you, man. And I'm sure the whole Guardian family is proud of you. What I did for you, not for you, but what I did for them, for everybody, is I put the link of the book on Amazon on my Facebook page. So if you go on Coffee Break with Teach, type it in, and you'll see it there on the wall. Also on my Twitter. And so, people, if you want to pick up that book, definitely. If the hard copy, you were saying that the hard copy will be out soon, but they can get the book electronically right now.
You can get the hard copy too.
Right now, okay.
Basically, what you got is if you go to Amazon, it's got this little thing saying temporarily out of stock, but it's very much out there. The publisher sent all the copies to Amazon.
Right.
Basically, the way it works now is that they're sometimes after release they got to catch up in terms of their distribution. But if you were to order a hard copy, you're definitely going to get it. You just might have to be a little patient. You can also order directly through the publisher, which would probably be even faster.
Right.
And then I mean certainly a lot of people seem to be buying the electronic and Kindle version as well, the ebooks, just because that's pretty sexy these days with the with the tablets.
Definitely.
So it depends what you want. Some people like the actual book, which obviously I encourage, but then there's nothing wrong with the Kindle version.
Yeah, and I'm just reading the summary, and it talks about an interracial couple living in the lower ninth ward in New Orleans, and they scratch and climb their way to the attic as the flood rises, and only one will survive. So one passes away, one.
That's right.
They give away the book, right?
Well, no, that's because that's only the beginning, man.
That's only the beginning.
That's only the beginning. That's just the hooky, because it's about that couple that in the lower ninth ward, and what happens is they have to go in different levels and climb throughout the house as the flooding rises. But meanwhile, this book deals a lot with the past, and it's not just about the present. So it's constantly going back and forth.
This book sounds super interesting. I can't wait to dig into it this weekend.
But there's a lot of other characters at play. There's this movie I really like called Crash. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and that was partly in terms of its structure, partly the inspiration behind this. My ultimate dream would be to make. I don't think there's been a good movie made yet about Hurricane Katrina.
Good. Man, I'm pumped about this, man. I can't wait to dig into it this weekend, and I'm sure we have a bunch of readers here in the Nassau Guardian, so I'm sure they'll be reading as well.